time, we will get into our presentations, and the first presentation is from Linda Murray regarding Paint the Town. I told Linda she has 45 seconds.
Listen, it'll take me 45 seconds to get all my stuff together.
35.
Time's up.
This will be an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
Yeah, I will prefer this.
Hi, John Frank.
You just hold it and yell loud, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that's fake. Fake.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Good evening. I'm Linda Murray, and my Hateful Cares. There's a lot of my Hateful Cares people here. Stand up, please. We're doing a small, short presentation of Hateful Paint the Town that we did in May, June, and July. The reason why it took us 3 months because we had a lot of rain, as you know. So it was very challenging this year, but we were able to get it done. So what I'd like to do is first just say thank you to all our sponsors and our volunteers. We have some little gifts to give to our major sponsors, and we had a lot of other sponsors that gave of their time and snacks for the volunteers and everything. They're not here tonight, but we will be giving them their certificates, thank you letters, and t-shirts and little other things that we have to show our gratitude for coming out to the city of Hateful and making a difference, revitalizing our city one house at a time. So I'm going to make this short because I'm on a time schedule. So I'm going to call out some of our major sponsors. Okay. And I'm going to say just a little bit about each one of them real quick. Portia Care Network, North American Network. They have been so supportive. They are one of our major sponsors. They are our top sponsor. They not only give us money, but they give us people, and they give us snacks, water, bug spray, whatever we need, they're there for us. So I'm just indebted to them. For the last 5 years, they have been 100% behind the city of Hateful, Hateful Cares, and so I would like to present today a plaque of Hateful Paint the Town and a certificate from the city of Hateful, and I thank you for doing that, in a t-shirt. We're actually giving this one to Portia Care because, I keep saying Portia Care, but anyway, it's Portia Care Network that does it, but it's North America. But anyway, I'm giving them this brush. This represents one of the houses that they worked long and hard on. And we just did pictures over there. And, you know, after it's over with, take your, go by there and look at them. We did ramps, if you'll see over there toward the bottom right. They worked on ramps in a house that had 2 handicap ramps. So we not only paint houses, we restore ramps, we build porches, and we fix their whatever is needed on the outside. So we are so indebted to Portia, and we thank you so much for coming out and helping us. So there's your certificate. And this is the certificate on behalf of the city of Hateful for coming out, and our thank you from Hateful Cares Inc.
Come on. I got a lot to hug here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll say that's
Okay.
probably.
Moving along, City of Hateville. City of Hateville, every year I come and ask for a little money. This year they gave me $1,500. And the $1,500 went directly to buy the t-shirts. You see what we have on today. And it was completely dedicated only to t-shirts and signage. So we do appreciate your support. And we have a paintbrush.
Full.
Of course, he's probably seen a lot of these because he's been out there every year painting.
We have done it. We have
Yes.
done it. Thank you for what you do.
And here's your certificate. And thank you from Hateville Care. Wells Fargo is not here. I do a grant each year, and Wells Fargo every year has successfully granted the city of Hateville with $1,000. So we will deliver their, their plaque and everything to them. Metazinoli. Metazinoli is, come on, John. John Salvey is an employee there. My husband is an employee there. And every year they come out and they paint houses, they repair, like I said, the ramps, mailboxes, build back porches. They have deteriorated. And we have a couple of elderly people that have lived there for years and years, and their back porch is just absolutely was rotted. They came out and tore it all down and repaired it and replaced it. We had probably 3 back porches, and we had 2 ramps, 2 handicap ramps this year alone. So, 2 house paints. But we had full house paints, and they were very challenging too. So we are indebted to them, this company coming out, and they buy the stuff. They don't ask for a thing to town, they bring all the supplies. We had one gentleman, where was he from? North Carolina. He got up at 3 o'clock in the morning to get here. First one there. 3 o'clock in the morning, so he would be in the city of Hateville. And he did a house that had required people getting on a tall, tall ladder. And he was the one to do that. And I am just in awe for that type of support in the city. So, John, now let me tell you, John also, he and my husband, they have to clean every one of these houses. We do not paint or anything until they are pressure washed. They're out there a week before. They come home every day, dirty, because that's probably the dirtiest job you'll ever want to do. And they have them ready to go for the painters to come when we kick off on that Saturday. So thank you so much, John.
Pleasure.
Have another shirt, a clean shirt.
That's a sign of.
In there, you're saying they're overcome.
Thank you.
They don't have.
Cavok. Now, I don't know how this kind of started our relationship, our partnership and everything, but I am so happy to have met these people they are actually right on Virginia Avenue. And they have been coming out every year. They are my cleanup crew. They do anything. They paint, they clean up, they pick up trash. They do anything and everything we want them to do. And I am so thankful that we have crossed paths. And I don't know how. I think, Larry, you must have.
Well, I went to church here for 3 years, and then Alan, I know Betty, and they talked about it, and Cheryl Pecky.
Yeah.
When Kavak came in, they said, we want to help with the community, and this was the best one I could think of.
Yes.
Come on down.
And we do appreciate it. And Scott Whitaker, now we have a Scott Whitaker in our city, and we've already had that long conversation. This is Scott Whitaker, and he is, are you the director? Or, yes, he's the director of Cavok, and we're just so thankful that we have partnered with them. And we have a lot of fun with them. They come out and we fight bumblebees and everything else. So,
Got into a bumblebee nest this year.
yes, we did, but we're gonna resolve that to make sure we have some some stuff to, help those that may be, allergic to it. So on behalf of People Cares, we'd like to appreciate
Thank you very much.
that. And then this is the certificate from the city of Hateville,
Okay, girl.
and we do appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Those are pretty much our main supporters, whether it be financially or bringing out a large team. When I say a large team, I'm not talking about, 10 or 12 people. We're talking about 25, 35, 45, 60. Madison only brought about around 70. So, I mean, that's a lot of people. They shut down their business and they come here. And they are a medical real estate firm. So we do, I mean, it's just amazing the people that we meet and they find out about Paint the Town. Also, our t-shirts, I cannot, Mr. Moss with Gosport, and I will give this to you, Todd, because they also do the t-shirts in the city, but I have built a relationship with Mr. Moss, and he is so happy to do Paint the Town shirts and everything. So we're very appreciative of that. So I'm going to give him a shirt back. Yeah. Thank you. Team Pelkey is, I don't see Cheryl.
Brian's here.
Okay. Team Pelkey has been with us from the beginning, and it's mainly consists of some of her friends, our friends, Hateful Cares friends, Methodist Church, and the mayor comes out and is on Team Pelkey's team, or wherever we may decide to put him. But she has been front and center to help us every year, never fails. And we thank Cheryl and her large volunteer group that comes with her. So I can always count on her to take a house and just do what's needed for it. So Brian, if you would come up.
Here's a clean one, man.
And Veteran Outreach, they could not be here, but they are another one that they come out at the beginning, and what they do, they help John and Richard and my son Matthew. They are pressure washing houses a week or so before, and Veteran Outreach comes and they help because it is time consuming to do a full house. And so they come out and they work with Home Depot to get an extra pressure washer, and they take home a couple of houses for us. So we do appreciate Veteran Outreach coming out and supporting us, that we'll get,
Leonard Morgan,
Yeah.
he's our contact.
And we have a lot of other volunteers, and we, as you see on the back of the t-shirt, we have a lot more and everything, but those, All Pro is here today, which I didn't think he would be here, but All Pro, now I can tell you, Chris, he's always there. He's a big supporter in this city. He has helped me 100%, whatever, chili cook-off, Paint the Town, whatever, I need, he is there to support.
He helps all the clubs.
Oh,
We
okay.
always go to Chris and he's giving.
So
You
I,
pay me just to leave.
yeah. So I will come see you with your certificate and everything. And thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Did you get all them along?
No.
That's okay. Okay, now, before I finish up, I have a few other HCOP. They came out, but I don't think there's anyone, is there anyone here that can
Yeah,
take
we're
HCOP?
here.
Well, yeah, the same ones, right. Okay, we had some HCOP people, but, we had them, they had HCOP, Hateful Cares hat. There's just a lot of hats everybody wears in the city. So on behalf of Hateful Cares, we do want to, say thank you to HCOT for helping deliver the lunches and coming out and helping painting the house. They painted one on Forest Hill Drive. So we thank them for coming out every year and supporting us. Whether it's 2 people or 10 people, we appreciate it so much.
Thank you.
So you Okay. This other person, she helps me every year. And I just cannot go without saying, she's just there for me all the time. At the carriage house, we have to have somebody manning the carriage house. We're all so busy running around, delivering stuff, checking on houses and everything. Betty Morgan is there every day, staying at the carriage house. If anybody comes in there, she answers questions, she sends them on their way to the houses or whatever I need. And, that can be kind of a boring job when everybody else is out doing stuff. But she is there every day for me, and she has been there for the last 5 years. And I want to give you a special recognition. Thank you so much. And I have you a certificate and another t-shirt. You want your picture, Mike? Come on, I want your picture. Betty is a very tough woman, and she is my mentor. She can survive anything, and she jumps right up, and she always helps this community. And you don't know how much I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. And last but not least, another persons that I'd like to say thank you to is Miss Charlene, Virginia Charlene.
I'll take it.
But anyway, a reason why, because Charlene's my right hand. And Heather helps me, they keep me going straight. I mean, my mind is all over the place. There's a lot to do when you're running paint to town. I mean, paint, make sure you don't get the paint on the wrong house, or, send a team that don't know how to paint, but do yard work, and you paint somebody's house, and So there's a lot of stuff going on. These 2 ladies here, they keep it straight for me. And I just appreciate y'all too, more than you ever know. And here's a certificate and a thank you from Hateful Cares. If you already don't know it, thank you, and you'll get another t-shirt as well. I do have some more t-shirts, so for all the other Hateful Cares volunteers and the ones that didn't wear the shirt, I had extra shirts to give y'all. I wanted to make sure that y'all had 2 shirts, one clean one and then one your paint, with the paint on it, so you can kind of clean that up and look at it. So,
Linda, Dr. Rass back there, her team always finishes first. And I don't know how she does it.
Well, she had HCOT, she was, Jeannie and HCOT group, they collaborated together to do the house on Forest Hills. And that was a challenging house. Those awnings are hard work. And so they painted, and Mezzanoli was back there, took the porch off and repaired it completely. And so it's just
Got you a new shirt, man.
It's a wonderful.
He just rang the bell, ding.
It's wonderful what everybody, they come together and make sure that, everything is done, all the I's are dotted. And we are so thankful to have such wonderful people in our city and wonderful sponsors that will come out and support us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And it takes, for this to work, because that's a lot of work, it takes somebody like Linda So I have to ask that you give Linda and Richard a round of applause. So, this is not a one-day project, they're working on this for months at a time. So Linda, thank you to you and to Richard and all the volunteers, all the corporate sponsors in the city for your support and your sponsorship of this. It's an awesome project, and it does make Hazel beautiful one house at a time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that will conclude our presentations for this evening. At this time, I will call our public hearing to order. We have a few items under public hearing tonight. And the first item is consideration of action to set the 2017 property millage rate at 16.44 mils. On June 20th, 2017, council adopted the city budget on final reading. As of the adoption date, the city did not have its preliminary digest for millage rate calculation and property tax estimates. The city received its estimated digest in August, and we are proposing a 16.44 millage rate, decreasing the millage by 0.17 mils from fiscal year 2017. This rate has been appropriately advertised as required and is ready for adoption by council. At this time, staff projects the general fund millage of 16.44 mils will generate approximately $6.5 million. The city's budget estimate for the property taxes was approximately $5.2 million. City staff recommends adoption of the 16.44 millage rate for the 2017 property tax billing for fiscal year 2018. So with that being said, staff, you have anything on this, Tim?
Nothing more to add to that. We're, just as a city manager, glad to see that the village and the property tax values are starting to go back up.
Yes, sir. Okay. Any citizen comments regarding this matter? I'll start on my right. On my left.
Mike Murphy, 201 Colorado. I just have a question. You stated that you have received the digest, because in the background it says you're not going to get it until the end of September.
We have received the
Preliminary.
You did preliminary,
Preliminary.
but the preliminary was wrong and they sent out letters.
We've had, okay.
So you've done it on a preliminary digest.
Could you come to the microphone, people say they can't?
Did everyone hear me? Or you want to ask again?
It's a revised preliminary digest. Not, this is after they recall the increase that got signed. So that's the digest is based upon.
The recall,
Yeah, the second preliminary
Revised.
digest.
and that's the one they're going to go for. Fulton County.
Well, I guess,
For residential.
right, I guess
Well,
Fulton,
For all of
it's up to Fulton County. I don't know when their next meeting is, but it's up to those commissioners to finalize everything. So all the surrounding communities can do is go by what they say is this is what we believe we're going to use.
It's been finalized, I think.
You stated you're going to wait until you get it. Now you're saying you're going with the preliminary one.
The revised preliminary one, correct,
We
Tim?
have to set the
Let me,
millage rate.
let me
So
clarify the
millage-
process a little bit. Fulton County had sent out your original, basically they had sent out your assessments with the complaints. Fulton County pulled those back. They had never sent out a digest to us. The estimated digest that they sent at the end of August is what they largely believe is going to be correct. They have to give some period of time, like 30 days for certain appeals, and then we expect our final digest, which we can bill off of. We expect that within 2 to 3 weeks. So the estimated digest, and that's always the process, is what comes to all to the taxing authorities.
You're setting a millage rate, then when you get the final digest, that millage rate will apply to the.
That is
final
correct.
digest.
Yes, sir.
Correct before it goes. Okay, thank you.
Any other comments on all that?
Make a comment?
Okay. Council?
I'll just add, for clarification, Tim, that this amount down here, the increase in revenues, not an increase in millage rate, the increase in revenues is almost 100% due to the increased assessments for commercial properties, since the residential is same as it was in 2016.
That is absolutely correct. It's all due to commercial.
All right.
But it's commercial, real estate, and personal property too.
That is correct.
Mayor Holman,
So that's subject to it.
Vicky missed the, Vicky didn't know that you were having public comments. Can she make her public comment?
Just announce.
About the hearing, yeah, it's about the hearing.
This is about the tax. We're having other public comments later, aren't we, about other
Yes.
agenda? I don't want to
This is,
speak, but
this
thank
is,
you.
this is the millage rate here.
Thank you.
Here.
Oh.
Thank you, Tim.
All right. Any other, council comments on this?
I know that you received a letter asking about the dates for paying things in light of this date change, and I didn't know if you wanted to elaborate to the group where it's on the video and everything.
Sure. Basically, and the standard practice for all, I think most municipalities is 45 days after billing, after we have billed, that's when taxes are due. So there's not a set date, but it is 45 days after we do the billing. Then we expect to bill again. We don't have the digest yet, but as soon as we do, it should take us less than a week to get the bills mailed out, and then taxes will be due within 45 days.
So if it came the end of the month, this week or next week, that's end of September, so payment would be due like November 15th.
That's correct.
Okay.
They expect mid to late November.
Any further council comment? There being none, I'll entertain a motion that we set the 2017 property tax millage rate at 16.44 mils.
I so move.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion.
Lowering that property tax.
For those of you who are not seeking re-election, you can say, I lowered your taxes before I went. All right, if there's no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, motion carries. Next item up is, under public hearings, is consideration action to set the 2017 special district tax rate at 1.0 mils. Council instructed staff to develop a special tax district for the purpose of securing special fire equipment. This district applies to buildings of 4 stories or more in the city. The rate recommended is advertised as 1.0 mils. The special tax district with 1 mil for fire-generated revenues of approximately $79,000 in fiscal year 2017. The city expects receipts to increase with the 2017 assessments. The list of properties included in this district is in our package for this evening. So staff, any further comments on that? Self-explanatory. Yeah. We pretty much, well, yeah, it should generate more revenue, but all that depends upon how the commercial.
It's the same.
Same. All right. Public comment on this, I'll start on the left. And on my right. Okay, council?
So with this increase, and with Solis coming in, you know, this is sort of earmarked for fire. I think we sort of keyed in on the amount that we were getting in was the exact payment for that ladder truck. With that overages, what are we, does that just go into a separate fund, like a little rainy day fund? Or,
Paying down quicker, what do we
yeah,
do?
I'll have to actually find out the specific details on that. I don't want to tell you wrong, but I can get you the exact details on what will be on the overage. But the first thing we have to do clearly is pay off the debt. So whatever we receive, it stays in a certain account so that we can pay off.
For the purpose of retirement.
yeah.
And there's always fire equipment needed, so.
But that's the reason we collected it, was for that truck, and that's what those hotels are paying for. So
That's
I
correct.
think we have to keep it in there.
Right,
Yeah, I
If
think
you
so.
get paid off sooner, that's great.
correct.
That's it.
Any further comments? There being none, I'll entertain a motion that we adopt the special tax district millage rate of 1.0 mils.
So moved.
Motion to adopt, is there a second? Second discussion.
I would like to add, if ever these assessments come up so much that we're way beyond what we need, this may be foolish, but I think it's got heart in it, our businesses are carrying a lot of weight for us, so if we see that we can lower this millage maybe next year in light of assessments, I think we should consider that.
Is there further discussion? All right, there being none, all in favor of the motion, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item is consideration and action on a conditional use permit for the construction of a commercial parking lot on a 1.36 acre parcel at 1155 Virginia Avenue. The City Planning Commission considered this issue on Tuesday, September 12, 2017, and recommended approval by council with the conditional use permit subject to 7 conditions. Staff supports their findings and recommendations subject to the conditions outlined. So with that being said, I'll turn this over to our city planner, Lynn Patterson, for staff comments.
Sure. This issue came up last fall. I believe we came in actually at the tail end of it, where Mr. Patel had come in to request that there be a conditional use permit for a parking lot located behind 1155 Virginia Avenue on Norman Berry Drive. At that time, Mr. Patel had chosen not to pave the parking lot. I guess Mayor and Council had instructed, as I said, we came in at the end. Mayor and Council had instructed staff to work with Mr. Patel to see if we could come to resolution for the parking lot. At that time, he chose not to pave it, which was one of our conditions, and therefore the conditional use permit was denied by Mayor and Council back in November. Mr. Patel came back, had resubmitted a conditional use application, including a landscape plan, and had paved the parking lot. It was originally gravel had been put down. Planning Commission, as you mentioned, heard this application last week and has recommended approval with a number of conditions. And those conditions are in your packet, but they include that the parking lot adhere to all landscape requirements. The parking lot shall be maintained on an ongoing basis. The conditional use permit would expire within 12 months of approval by the mayor and council. The reason for this timeline is because Mr. Patel has indicated his plans to develop the property. Again, as outlined in your packet, and this enables him some time to be able to develop the property and add additional parking into a deck associated with the development that he's has indicated would happen within about 12 months. No shuttle operation would be associated with the parking lot. Both Planning Commission and staff's concern is overnight parking, and that this becomes some kind of an airport parking lot, so no shuttle service. Again, no overnight parking would be allowed on the lot. There would be signage placed, and Planning Commission had also recommended that staff work with the business owners on some kind of permit or signage or information to the patrons that they were not allowed to park overnight. So we had some ideas on how we could do that. Certainly, if there were some issues with patrons not wanting to drive home after a long evening, we certainly wouldn't want them to get on the wheel. But there were some options that were discussed. And so it's back to you, I guess, for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone here representing the applicant? Roger. Roger, would you state your name and address and your affiliation for the record, please?
Roger Fisher, 54 Sawgrass Manor Drive. And I'm representing R.C. Patel, Fort Wayne Capital. We tried to address all the concerns of the planning department